Hi, I'm John Baxter, and tonight with me on Alternative BOP we have Kingsley Smith. Welcome. How's it going, Kingsley?
Very good, mate.
Cool. Kingsley is also known as Audio Storm Rocker and DJ Kings for his radio show. How'd you get the Audio Storm Rocker?
Right, well, when I first came to Tauranga, I actually came here because I auditioned to be singer for the band, and the band was called Audio Smith.
Okay.
Got the part, obviously, and we set up a Facebook identity, Audio Smith, and then when the band disbanded sort of 3 years later, I sort of thought, well, it's a shame to sort of lose all those fans that we created, so I decided to call my it's a bit cheeky, but I decided to call my original band Audio Storm, which I still think is a cool name, and kept the fans. A little bit cheeky, but there you go.
Oh, fair enough. There's been a lot of bands and individuals done that in the past. You know, they keep that rolling. So your radio show, obviously it's based on heavy rock, metal. How long's that been going?
2 years now.
You just hit the big 50th program. That's pretty monumental.
It is. It's a great milestone for the show, and for myself as a broadcaster.
And you record it here in your home.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
In the studio, in the bedroom studio.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. It's doing a lot of great work for both national acts and local acts, which is really cool. Especially got a up and coming thing at Todra Street. I'd like to say a little bit about it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's happening next month, the 26th of November. And it's called the Rockfest 2016. We're hoping to make it into an annual thing.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And it's also you're supporting Cancer Society, which is particularly, it's a big deal for me and probably a lot of people, especially when you are getting a little bit older. Not that it affects just older people, but it affects everybody. I've lost my mum through cancer, and so our band's particularly interested in joining in with this because it's just such a great thing to be part of. How did that come about, the Cancer Society connection?
Well, it was an idea that I think I had originally. We were playing around with the idea with me and the other two directors from Todra Street, Jay Munro and Ross Schilling. Yeah. And I believe I came up with the idea because, as a lot of people will know, Nightshade has had their share of the cancer thing, and it's been quite a lot to deal with, and in my own private life as well. Family, my mother had leukemia, which she seems to be on top of now. Yeah. So like yourself, it's quite close to home, and
a number of people, a number of friends who've had breast cancer. My mother-in-law died of cancer only a couple of months ago, so it's just it's rampant, and something needs to be done about it. And this is a great event to help, provide some funds for the cause. It's a really cool thing you're doing. I appreciate it. Hopefully the local people get behind it and get in and do it, because you've got, what have you got now? 7 bands?
6 bands.
6 bands playing. And $10 at Todra Street, and you can't get better value than that. It's a third of the price of a CD, or a quarter of the price of a CD. For those that actually still go out and buy CDs, don't pinch their music. It is $20 on the door too, so you're best to get in early and get a ticket, because they will go fast. and because it's for such a good cause, and you've got some great bands playing, you'd like to sort of share a bit about who's going on,
who's
playing.
on the lineup.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, the sort of the main headlining band, if you like, is this band here, Primacy.
Cool.
And they are one of my featured bands on the New Zealand Hard Rock Show.
Yeah.
Which fantastic band, I really dig what they're doing.
Yeah.
Quite an original style. It's a sort of detuned heavy rock. They call it heavy rock.
Yeah.
But back in the old days, it would have been heavy metal.
Yeah.
It's just that.
But I mean, the heaviness factor is just exponentially grown. So yeah, compared to probably a lot of things that are playing these days, it's not that heavy. But with that detuned factor, which I've heard, a few of the tracks that you've had on your radio show, and it's a great sound. They're fantastic. And you've had them here before as well, haven't you? Over at Totara Street.
I've promoted them a couple of times at Totara Street, so I think this will be the third time they're playing. So they're my headlining band, if you like, although they're going on second to last. Which is the best slot. In any festival gig. So, and the other bands, if you see over here, so that's Primacy, and the other bands are Midnight Switch.
Cool.
Which, this is there's another. That's the original single with One and the Same and Medicine Man. It's the guys on the back there, and this is their.
As the props fall over, as they usually do.
Yes, that was inevitable. This is their latest single, Feed the Fire. I should put that up next to...
Cool.
Maybe that was meant to be, so I can put them together. And this is 8 Steps to Madness from Cambridge, which is Hamilton.
Yeah.
And it's great to have them along. I know the guys well, I know Peter well. So it's great to have them. By the way, Midnight Switch are from Manawatu or Palmerston North.
Okay.
So they're our furthest away act.
Oh, it's nice to have bands coming in from that far away to do this gig.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Well, that's part of the concept with the festival is that I really want to have half the bands local, and half from out of town, and as far away as Wellington, Auckland, we were going to have 3 local bands this year, but unfortunately Eternal Sea had to pull out.
Yeah.
And now we've only got Liberated Squid and the Carradines, which interestingly...
well, I've never heard of.
Interestingly, John is in both those bands, so tell us about them.
Okay, so Liberated Squid is an original punk band inspired very much by the early punk scene, not so much the latest scene, not the really the hardcore scene or the ska punk scene. Nothing quite like that. There's a little bit of
more than 1977.
The early mid 70s sort of period of punk.
76,
Original, sometimes throw in a few covers of our favourite bands, but mainly original stuff. Carradines, I don't know. You'd have to see us to understand what that's about. Bit of a fusion of many things. The drummer and myself, obviously from a punk alternative music sort of background.
Vern
Bigwood and myself. And Brett's more of a metal guy, so we meet somewhere in the middle, but then we throw in bits of funky reggae stuff, whatever, but everything's fast. It's very much punk inspired in the speed factor.
And there's kind of a Motorhead sort of feel about especially say the song, well, a couple of songs. One song I play of yours on my radio show is Bury Me in Black Jeans.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome track.
Well, that was inspired by Vern, who's
really?
who's permanently in black jeans. That's all he wears, black jeans and black boots. And he just made this off-the-wall statement one time, if I die, bury me in my black jeans. So that was a great, it was a great idea for a song title, and it just came off the cuff, It was just...
It's kind of an anthem, for...
Well, it is. It's a very sort of
metal and
almost a boganish sort of idea. But black jeans, they're sort of a standout thing. Punk bands, metal bands, the whole black concept is just... exactly.
Right
Says the man in dark blue jeans, but never mind, Obviously, I'm not thinking I'm going to die today. Otherwise,
you're hopeful.
Yeah.
And I'm, as Johnny Cash would say, I'm dressed to go to a funeral.
Yeah. The man in black himself. Yeah.
There you go.
Next up, I'm going to go a little bit into your Nightshade era, shall we say. You've had quite a bit to do with those guys over the last little while. You've obviously promoted them on your show, but you've been playing keyboards for them in the last little while. How's that been?
It's been quite a journey. It's 2 years now, and I only did 3 gigs with them. Nightshade, we have I guess I can say this on camera, we have a bit of a slogan, a bit of a sort of a casual slogan that we chuckle and joke to each other about, that the progress of Nightshade is like mainland cheese.
Good things take time.
It takes time.
It takes time. Boy, does it take time. But it was definitely worth the time and the effort that I put into it.
I mean, you've also been doing the videoing, haven't you? You're editing the video of the final show, so that's going to be something to for the fans to look out for. Well, any ideas of when that's coming about? When it's going to be finished?
Originally, we were hoping to get that out for Christmas. Me and Wayne were hoping for that, but Rick is still working on the audio, which is taking time. The whole mainland cheese thing, of course, but it's great. I mean, he does a fantastic job of the audio. He is very talented. But producer.
It's a band, so you need, the audio's got to be.
Audio is the most important thing.
Yeah,
and it frees it up for me with the editing. I can just take a lot more time. By the way, I must point out that it is a team effort, and in the end. The band will assess my editing, and we, Rick or whoever might sit in with me at the end, and we'll get a team effort result.
But it's good to document, their longevity and what that band has been to Hamilton and to New Zealand as a whole, the whole,
absolutely.
There's a long time period, and
well, it goes back to 1982, pretty much, and Te Poki. That's when Wayne started the band. And that's just down the road from here, obviously.
Exactly. I mean, I never saw them in the early days, but I was lucky enough to catch them on their, would have been the second to last gig over at Mount Maunganui. That was... and
it's great to have you along.
Man, people were just going mental, eh? They were just... that place was pretty packed, and it was a great night.
Yeah, we had fans coming all the way from New Plymouth for that gig. The Nightshade fans, by the way, are amazing. I liken. I'm an actual Nightshade fan myself, so I can say this. Before I was a Nightshade, I was a fan. I mean, going way back to the late '80s. And Nightshade to me have always felt like New Zealand's version or answer to Iron Maiden, and not in terms of style. I mean, although they're both kind of heavy rock, but more in terms of the fandom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, massive fan base, and it was good to see. You know, like the fans have obviously aged with the band. They, you know, that was probably, I don't know what the average age would have been, but sort of 50s. You know,
40s, 50s.
Yeah, 40s, 50s, and man, the people just went off. They were just. It was incredible how much, you know, feeling that, you know, you could see, but you know, the connection between the fans and the audience, fans and the band. You know, they're just, it's pretty special occasion.
That was a great gig. I enjoyed that gig, but I enjoyed the last gig in Hamilton even more. You weren't there, were you?
No. Unfortunately, I had another band thing going on that night. So yeah.
Good excuse.
Yeah, well, yeah. When you're playing, you've got to. Everything else goes out the window, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
But I was lucky enough to catch the other one. So it was like, I mean, the sound, the lights, everything for that gig were, you know, pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing with Nightshade is it's all about sort of the larger than life kind of thing, and it's. I was talking to Wayne about it actually, and the one of the big things, standout things for Nightshade as an original band is when they do a gig, they don't just do a gig; they put on a show.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's everything. It's what they wear, the costumes, the lighting, and the best possible front of house audio mix.
Yeah. Oh, it was very much like any of those really big overseas gigs. You know, the audience participation. You know, getting the audience involved, shouting stuff out and singing and
Blood and Money is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
If I can I talk about the last gig in Hamilton?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Because that's a pretty historic moment for Nightshade. We had actually 3 times the crowd, or over 3 times the crowd that were at the Toto Street, completely packed out. This is at the Altitude Bar in Hamilton.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So about 700 people, and we had fans coming.
What's the capacity of that place? Pretty much that,
yeah. And we had fans coming from all the way from Wellington. And even further than that, we had actually fans coming from the UK and America and Australia.
That's crazy.
This is what I'm talking about, the fandom thing. It blew me away, you know. Just being a part of this band and then realising how passionate and dedicated these fans are.
It's funny, with some of those big bands, it almost becomes like a family thing, The people have grown up with the band and they, you know, it's almost like they're, I mean, it's horrible to talk about it with the whole cancer scenario, but it almost is like a funeral. It's the end of the band, you know. It's like they're calling it a day, you know, and you know, it's very sad for people, but it's also a thing to celebrate, you know, the life of this band and what they've done.
And that's the way people looked at it, as a celebration. You know, Wayne put on an amazing performance. You know, he was actually enjoying himself. He was in a little bit of pain. But he was really enjoying himself. You could see that, and you'll see that in the DVD edited video when that comes out. But it was a little bit sad in some respects. But the actual night itself, when everybody was there, we were having a great time.
Yeah,
and that's what it was about. So. I think we couldn't have asked for a better send-off, you know, for the band.
Yeah, it would be awesome to see this video when it comes out. You have to keep us informed about when the release date is and all the rest of it.
Yeah, for sure. Roughly, it'll be next year. Hard to say, but you know, judging by their whole. Mainland Cheese progress, probably halfway through next year.
So were you part of the whole promotion of that gig in Hamilton? So how's this whole promotion thing come about? Promoting all the bands, because I mean, obviously it's good because it's a connection with your radio show. But how did the whole band promotion thing come about?
It was partly to do with Totara Street when I discovered Totara Street.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, as you know, have been going about 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
So it was about a year, towards the end of their first year they'd been open, that I actually discovered the venue. I thought, what a great venue, man.
Oh, yeah. For anybody that hasn't been to Totara Street, the guys do an amazing job, fantastic sound.
Ross Schilling.
They really look after the guys. Ross has been in the music industry for a long, long time. He's played in bands, and man, the sound coming out of that place, really huge stage. I mean, you don't get much bigger stages for for smaller town venues. I mean, it's a massive stage.
It is a massive stage. It's got a very high truss too. It actually looks, when you see the photographs of the bands, you think they're on some kind of stadium stage, but it's a medium-sized stage, 450 capacity.
Yeah.
But you're like I say, high truss. The speaker bins are hung from the truss.
Yeah.
And which is kind of in that stadium sort of way,
Amazing bass sound too, coming from underneath the stage.
Yeah.
Just like you can feel, it's not deafening, but you can feel the bass. It's so pumping.
Oh, it is. And Ross and Jay have recently had, towards the beginning of this year, they had the acoustic panels attached to the ceiling, which has really helped to improve the sound. And Ross, like I keep telling the guy, I said, mate, you just keep getting better and better at mixing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was there last night for the Bad Manners gig, and, they're promoting a band with, what have they got? They had bass, guitar, drums, keyboard, singer, and 3-person brass section, so you've got 8 guys on stage, multiple vocals, plus all the horn section, everything. And it was stunning. Yeah.
It's about 15 channels that Ross is trying to mix down.
Oh, plus the drums, it's just like, I don't know.
20 channels, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. It was at least probably 16, 17 channels. It was crazy, phenomenal sound. And, they went off, they were great.
And I heard that you guys were pretty popular too.
Oh, we had a great night. Yeah, I mean, met the band who were fantastic. They were really, really friendly people. Anybody gets a chance to see Bad Manners, go and see them. It is a fun-filled event. The guy's a fantastic performer. Gets the crowd involved. Takes the piss out of himself. Something chronic,
That's great.
Gets the audience calling him a fat bastard. Although he has slimmed down a lot from what he used to be. He used to be a really huge dude. But, he makes fun of himself. And he actually had a band that was made up of other ska band members from Australia this time. I think he was the only original member, but from the records to now, you wouldn't have really known. It was a great show, fantastic show, and Ross and the guys did a fantastic job. Yeah, amazing job.
And of course, it was your band Liberator Squid that was opening for them.
Yeah, it was a great privilege. A band that we looked up to. I mean, I was probably maybe 14 or 15 years old when I first heard one of their songs, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's sort of a at that time the British ska scene was relatively new, and it's like after the sort of the punk thing had evolved into all these different sort of little genres and stuff. Ska was a huge influence on my upbringing. That combination of brass section with a rock band that had sort of semi-punky ideals. It's just enormous.
And the whole franticness and speed and ferocity of ska is quite similar to punk, I would imagine.
Well, it's yes and no. It's got the same vibe. They probably don't actually play quite as fast, but because there's so much going on with the interaction between all the different instruments, it still fills it up, and it's a fantastic sound. So next we'll maybe have a look at your involvement with the Chaos to Culture, which is we're doing a punk event at the down at the Incubator on the 12th of November, and Kingsley's kindly joined us to sing a few songs for us. We've got 2 bands that are going to do probably 45 minutes worth of material each, and we've got numerous local and a couple of guys coming over from Hamilton to join in the bands. They've got their own punk-inspired bands over in Hamilton. So 2 bands, a catwalk with punk-inspired clothing.
It's like a fashion parade.
Yeah, fashion parade with a full-on catwalk outside. The bands are outside under a marquee. We're hoping, just in case there's any problems with rain. But if there is, we'll take it inside. And also an art gallery full of punk-inspired artwork based on a foot square, which is LP size. From the old vinyl, or done on a record.
Okay.
So,
and is that done by the artists from the Incubator?
It's done by whoever wants to join in. It's open to anybody. So it's not our thing. It's open to anybody who wants to have a go. So you still got probably a couple of weeks to 2 or 3 weeks to get your entries in, and get your artwork in, get your fashion piece in. You need a model, or you'll need to wear it yourself. But the bands are all going to be dressed up. All the people attending are going to be dressed up, hopefully, and take part of it. And you could win a prize for being one of the sort of best dressed, I suppose.
Can I tell you a little bit more? Sorry, a little bit more about the bands for
sure.
Rockfest. There were obviously these 5 here. Is that 4 or 5? 4 actually. So who are we missing? Liberator Squid is the 5th one, and the 6th one, which I didn't mention before, is actually a new band that have just formed. A couple of celebrities from Auckland, who you guys will know. Chris Young from
Tadpole,
ex-Tadpole. He was also in Redline and Static Era.
Oh wow!
And Sean Scarborough, who is still in the legendary band Just One Fix from Auckland.
Okay,
it's got a hardcore metal band. And he's also in the Black Sabbath tribute band called After Forever, which was a bit of a competition for our band.
Yeah.
Sabotage. But anyway, great guys, really great guys. Chris has been a friend of mine, so being able to get him down to Tauranga for the Rockfest. And they, the name of the band is Metaract.
Oh, okay. Anything out at the moment? It's not a band I'm familiar with, so anything has been released yet?
No, they're that new.
Okay.
This will be their first gig, actually, at the Rockfest.
Oh, wow. So get along to see that. There's some pretty, well-known people in this band.
Historical moment, really.
I'd imagine that sound will be pretty cool.
Oh, they're good, man. They are real professionals, and they I've seen them before in some of their other bands, their sideline bands. Sean Scarborough is amazing guitarist. So is Chris Young, of course.
Oh well, Tadpole at the time were groundbreaking with that mixture of the vocals, sort of a heavy-ish background, but
with the poppy female vocals.
With some melody there too. It was a fantastic band. You really used to enjoy watching.
Yeah, well, Chris was played on some of their bigger songs, actually. Their biggest, most successful period. So great to have Chris and Sean along for this, and they'll be the last band on after Primacy.
Cool, awesome. Actually, talking of the, I'll just go back to the punk thing for a moment. The man behind the camera here, Baz Mantis, is also appearing to. He's playing a few tracks on the guitar. looking forward to that. It's sounding awesome, man. That guy can he can shred on that guitar, man. He's almost too good for our punkness. He'd like to throw a few more notes in there. I'm sure take a few lead breaks out into the stratosphere, but we're having to rein him back a little bit. So it's going to be a lot of fun for anybody that hasn't witnessed Baz playing. He's something to behold. Yeah, he's doing one of Generation X's songs, and Billy Idol, once he went solo with Steve Stevens, that gives you a bit of an idea of how good Baz is. He's he's in that vein.
He's got a little bit of the Steve Stevens.
He's got a bit of that going on. Yeah,
I've worked with Baz in a couple of bands. D-Day Saints, of course.
Yeah.
We collaborated on. That was the first time I collaborated with Baz, and then of course the Sabotage. Sabbath tribute.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was such a shame because, I mean, to be honest, I was never a massive Black Sabbath fan. There were some songs I really liked, but I wasn't a massive Black Sabbath fan. But I came along to that gig to support Baz and the rest of the guys, yourself.
And that was really good of you guys.
And I was blown away. I really was. I thought, man, this could have been taken internationally and done so well. It was as good a tribute band as I've ever seen.
Oh, cheers, man.
It was. I'm not,
Also makes me feel a bit stinker about it because it didn't continue. So,
well, I was lucky enough to be there to see it because it really was good.
Cheers, man.
It was fantastic. If we can go back to your radio show for a minute, how did that come about? How did you start with that?
Well, interestingly, it actually goes back to the D-Day Saints. Baz asked me to collaborate on one of the songs, Chill Pill. It was.
Oh, okay.
And we got airplay.
In what respect? What were you doing? What were you adding to the
vocals and keyboards?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Baz was able to get airplay on the 100% Kiwi music show.
Oh, cool.
That was hosted and produced by Carwyn Hennigan, who's become a good friend of mine and who trained me up because what happened was he wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I can understand that it's a bit of a ball and chain, doing this. Even though I only do it once a fortnight, it's like it does take a lot of time and energy to do it. He wanted to get out of it. But we were talking at the time about me continuing, but with under a more heavier hard rock genre program.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Because apparently a lot of the radio stations that we that subscribed to, well, originally subscribed to 100% Kiwi Music Show, were thirsty for some hard rock.
Yeah. Well, it is missing from a lot of programming these days. The punk, metal, hard rock sort of areas. I mean,
well, I do
some of the
well,
some of the shows may be very late at night, but they're not. Nobody's specialising in that as such. They get a little bit, maybe on the rock and hauraki and that sort of ilk, but
student radio a little bit.
Yeah.
And when I say hard rock, of course, that sounds like it's pigeonholed, but it is actually includes punk.
Oh no, it's very varied as far as the content. I've listened to numerous shows and there's all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah, there is. It's right across New Zealand too. I mean, I try to source independent bands, not bands that are usually signed. I mean, I have a few signed bands on there, but mostly independent bands that are trying to get known.
Yeah. So what would be a requirement? Say, if a heavy band wanted to approach you to get some music on your show, what would be the...
Do you mean like a more hardcore band?
No, I just mean any band that's
any band.
in the heavy genre.
Right.
What would they have to do to get music on your show?
Right. Well, the best way is to actually just email me the NZ Hard Rock Show at gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
And just send one or two of their best MP3s, and the MP3 needs to be at 320 kilobits per second, which is the compression bit rate. No less than that. I mean, they can send WAV files, and I can just compress them down from there. But 320 kbps is the broadcasting standard. Yeah.
So you're hopefully I'm right here. You are actually on 12 stations throughout the country, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
LPFM. Well, most of them are LPFM stations. I think there's a couple there that are standard FM. Got Mad FM in Auckland, Chase FM in Pairoa. There's quite a few down south in Christchurch, Dunedin, Port Chalmers, Nelson.
Wow.
And
fair range of places there.
Yeah.
Covering most of the country.
Yeah.
How did those associations come about? How did you get in contact with those stations, or did they get in contact with you?
Well, mostly through the help of Carwyn Hennigan from the 100% Kiwi Music Show. He was very good, and he acted like my agent at the beginning for the first 6 months, and he got on board about, I don't know, probably 9 or 10 of the stations, and then added a couple more on myself. And I've gone beyond that too. I've got a radio station in Victoria, Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
cool.
That was cool. That's my most recent one.
Yeah.
I also have a internet radio station in California.
Wow.
That's Beyond the Dawn Radio.
Okay.
And they're really happy to have this show, which is awesome. And a UK internet station called Rock Band and Radio.
Oh, that's awesome. So obviously you can stream it on the internet. Where will people find it?
Yeah, well, it's for in demand. You go to Mixcloud. So the NZ Hard Rock Show on Mixcloud.com.
Yeah. So how long's the show for?
It's 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Which obviously leaves 5 minutes for the radio broadcasters to put their ads and announcements.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic format. It's amazing that you just do it from home, and it's a labour of love.
Yeah, it is a labour of love. But I mean, I remember now. Seeing Carwyn Hennigan doing it and supporting independent bands and like the D-Day Saints, going back over 2 years, and I just got the bug for it because it's something actually interestingly, it was something that I had an interest in way back as a preteen.
Yeah.
I just had this sort of natural urge to be a DJ. I never got into it until 2 years ago.
Well, I mean, probably up until lately, as far as, if you went, I mean, you can go to Polytech now and actually study for that, but I mean, there never used to be those facilities. You get taken on, I guess, as an apprentice broadcaster and just go and do it with a radio station, but now you can actually learn, or you can just do it yourself.
Well, I picked up a few tips. Interesting you should say the Wintec. Was it Wintec or the Polytech in Hamilton? Because Max Christopherson used to, who founded the Exotech, used to have a course for broadcasting and DJing at the Wintec in Hamilton. And I got in touch with Chris Max Christopherson. Got in touch with Max about, firstly about trying to get my show on his Kiss FM radio, which is Bay of Plenty broadcast, 106 point something FM. And he actually, I can say that, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, he actually turned me down.
Oh, wow.
Because he's got such high standards with his radio announcing. And I was, sort of like a little bit taken back. But but I was, I thought, well, no, this guy's a legend. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah. So instead of me getting upset about it, I asked him, it was just an email correspondence. I asked him, what can I do to improve?
What do I need to do? Yeah.
And he gave me some tips, man.
That's cool. That's good.
Yeah, he gave me some really good tips. So I learnt from one of New Zealand's legends. Mm-hmm. Plus, I learnt stuff from Carwyn Hennigan too.
So was the attack itself an inspiration?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I have to say at this point, that includes Paul Martin.
Oh yeah, well,
big influence on me, because I used to listen to the X Attack back in the day, and he used to support my band Alarum in the thrash metal scene.
Well, he supports so many bands, and appears in bands himself, so he knows what he's talking about, and he knows what he's doing.
He does, and I used to listen to his DJing, and even back then, before I realised I would get into this myself one day. And I used to pick up on his mannerisms, if he's watching this, it's a compliment to him because there I go say, that's apparently a no-no broadcaster.
Yeah, but you're thrown in a live situation here where you don't know what I'm throwing at you.
Yes,
I haven't given you I haven't given you what I'm going to talk about. I'm just throwing it at you, so you're stuck like I am.
Yeah.
I'm making it up as I go along too. Yeah, so it's fantastic because he is an inspirational broadcaster in the heavy rock scene, and like we were saying before, he's been in these bands. He knows what he's doing.
He does, man. He's really been around. He was a Nightshade, of course. He was originally in Tyrant from Wellington, and then Nightshade about 1984ish to 1986, and he was part of Nightshade near the beginning. And after he left Nightshade, he continued to support their music, and play the music on X Attack. By the way, he took over from Max about 1987, I believe. So he took over the X Attack from Max then, and was broadcasting from Contact FM, which is a student radio station in Hamilton.
I remember Contact FM. Gee.
Yeah. Did you used to get some of your old bands played on?
No, but I used to listen. I lived in Hamilton for a short period of time, and used to check it out.
It had quite a good music scene. It sort of always had reasonably. It wasn't always the best place to live weather-wise, and but it had
too far from the beach.
Yeah, too far from the sea. We're spoilt over here. Yeah.
But we're probably only just really catching up with as far as music is concerned, and that's a big thank you to Austin Cunningham and this group with the Tower Music Sucks, and yourself putting on these productions, which we'll wrap up with again. Can you give us the date again, please, for when you're doing the Rockfest over at the Mount?
Yeah, it's 26th of November, so that's about 5 weeks away, at the Totara Street venue at the Mount Maunganui. And it's 6 p.m. doors open.
Yeah, 6 p.m. kickoff. Yep.
First band is on at 7, which is, I believe, you guys. Yeah. And it goes through till about 12:30ish.
Yep. And where can you get the tickets for that?
Yeah, you can get them online at Event Finder.
Yep.
So just go into eventfinder.co.nz and type in Rockfest 2016.
Yeah.
You can also go onto Facebook and type in Rockfest 2016 and see the event page.
Yeah.
And all the information related to that.
And if you know some of the guys in the local bands in Tauranga from Liberator Squid or Carradines, hit us up. You won't get them for free, but you can get them for $10, which is what the price is from Event Finder for the moment, because on the door it will be $20. And the thing is, it's all for a good cause. It is for the Cancer Society. So 6 bands for $10. I mean, what can you buy for $10?
Often that's the price of a beer, you know.
It is, and a lot of the, you know,
Auckland pubs maybe.
No, even in Tauranga, in some places you pay $10 for a beer. So I mean, $10 for 6 bands for, you know, what, virtually
6 hours.
6 hours worth of music for $10.
Quality, you know, a quality entertainment at a quality venue. It will be a festival environment, a festival atmosphere. We'll be running it'll be quick changeovers, only 15 minutes changeovers, and we'll be running music videos of the bands on a large screen projector. Between. Cool. We'll also have myself and Chris Young will be getting up sometime through the night just to spin a yarn about about the industry and about some stories, you know.
Oh, awesome. So, are there any? Is this the money that's raised from that? Is it going to a specific area of the Cancer Society, or is it just going to the company?
To the Bay of Plenty / Waikato Cancer Society.
Oh, that's cool. Keeping it local.
Yeah,
awesome.
And like I say, it's a great cause. It affects so many people. It's
a massive amount of people. If you don't know somebody that's been affected by cancer, it's probably unusual, because you know, I've been to a number of funerals over the last probably 5-6 years, and it's pretty scary. And that's not including people that have been affected that have not died. You know, it's just it's rampant, and it's horrible to deal with.
I have a friend that is only 35, and he has a serious cancer condition. I forget which type of cancer it is. There's so many types, but it is a serious one, and he's undergoing massive chemo. And he's only 35, you know, not even middle-aged.
I went to a funeral for a friend of mine beginning of last year, mid-40s. Just shocking, you know.
Man. And was it Vern who's had both his parents have died of cancer? God, that's tragic.
So there's got to be something out there that that can stop this, or at least halt it. And so there's money going to the research and money going to help the people who are suffering from it. So $10 for 6 bands, you know, you can't really do better than that. And there's some bloody good bands. I'm not talking about bands. I'm talking about the bands that are coming from outside.
So let's pack the night. Let's pack this joint out.
You
know, we could fit 450 people in there.
Yeah. You don't have to pay just $10 either. You could pay a bit more if you know.
Feel free.
You know what it's going towards, and this is run at minimum cost. This, you know, most of the money is going for it. There's a little bit going to expenses and costs. But it's really is a small amount of it that's going to that.
We're not taking none of the musicians or the promoters or even the venue directors. None of us are taking any money, or putting any money in our own pockets.
Yeah.
The expenses, you know, there are expenses to this because we've got out-of-town bands, and we've got to pay for accommodation and travelling costs. But the musicians themselves are not getting paid.
No. Oh, I'm not coming then. No, just joking. Of course I'll be there.
Oh, they're getting a few free complimentary drinks, you know, and
I'm definitely coming in.
So there you go. But
cool.
what was I going to say? I'm not sure if you mentioned, but Get your tickets online, because if you leave it to the last moment and turn up at the door, it will be $20.
$20, yeah.
Which we won't necessarily mind, but it's in your best interest to.
Well, it's actually more money for the Cancer Society, but you might miss out.
Yeah, why not?
What's the limit of the place?
450. Yeah.
Yeah, 450 people. So I'd say that's that probably will pack out quite quickly when they hear what the course is and the bands that are coming. So Primacy.
Primacy, Midnight Switch, 8 Steps to Madness, Liberator Squid, the Carradines, and Meteract.
Cool.
That was all 6, I believe.
Yeah. Good memory. I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
Well, I've gone over those names so many times.
I remember 2 of those bands. Well, probably 3. I'll see your T-shirt. But please get along. Please support it. It's a very worthy cause. And again, thank you very much, Kingsley, for doing this promotion and appearing and talking about everything you've done. It's fantastic work you're doing in the radio station and promotion of bands. Credit to the community. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Cheers. Rock on. Catch you later.